Following on from the awesome episode with Carl and Alex, where we talked about how in 4 years they've gone from zero to £96,000 a month in written business, I wanted to do a deep dive for you into the fastest way that you can grow your business based on their journey and their experience. One of the key things that they referenced was removing the £10 tasks and starting to work on the £1,000 hour tasks. One of the biggest things that I see with clients coming into Systemise and scaling, having worked with advisors since 2019, is the advisor, the business owner, the founder being a massive bottleneck in the business, doing everything themselves, from chasing the documentation to doing the research, submitting the AIPs, the application, booking the protection, doing all the follow-up, and even worse, everything after the application has been submitted to the lender or the provider. This hugely stalls growth. As your business transitions and begins to go through the 4 key stages of business growth, the key thing is being able to delegate, being able to let go so that you can grow. As a founder and a business owner, your key is to drive more demand, to create more leads, more sales. And as you go through the 4 key phases, which I'll do another episode on actually to break this down for you so you can understand where you are and where you want to get to, moving from £10 tasks to £100 tasks to £1,000 tasks is fundamentally key. So if you're at the beginning of the journey, the first key hire you need to make is to your PA, your administrator, because that will enable you to get rid of the late nights, to follow up more consistently with leads and appointments, to work on getting new business rather than trying to nurture relationships with clients who are out finding a property or chasing the lender. That stops your pipeline stalling. It also means that you won't miss reviews and you'll have capacity to be able to handle more business. As a solo advisor, you may be restricted to 60, maybe even £100,000 if you're working on big mortgages or big deals or doing a full mortgage fee and protection. But as soon as you begin to get an admin in, a PA in, and focus more on the front end of driving leads and sales, it gives you the opportunity to double your revenue. One of the biggest challenges that I see is with advisors getting busy, the protection starts to become secondary rather than becoming a focus point. A good advisor, an exceptional advisor, understands that the mortgage is just the lead to get the protection sales. That's really where the wealth and the profit is truly made. You want to create more time with clients to have better conversations to maximize the value of every opportunity. What I want you to think about is if you got an admin at 2k per month, £24,000 per year. And if you're doing £100,000 and could add another £100,000, that roughly, is 25% of the extra revenue and income that it will generate. That's a huge return on investment. Now, you have to understand that there is the lag, because when you submit the business, it's going to take 12 to 20 weeks for that money to hit the bank and hit the pipeline. And often in that early phase of them joining the business, you have to go through the training side of things and making sure that they work your way. It's why I would urge you as much as possible to bring people in with experience, especially in the early days, because you'll spend less time training and more time focusing on income generating, money making activities. Hey, I hope you're enjoying today's episode. I wanted to quickly dive in and offer you the chance to have a quick conversation. We call it a growth audit call. It's about identifying bottlenecks. What's holding you back? What's stopping you from getting what you want in your business, but also in your life? It's 10-15 minutes as a bit of a discovery call. It is not a sales conversation. We will not sell to you at all as a promise on this call. We want to find out where you are versus where you actually truly want to be. We want to find out what's holding you back right now from reaching your next goal or your next milestone in business, whether it's better systems, whether it's more leads, whether it's improving your sales. Having a conversation could be the most valuable thing you do today. So take a moment, click the link in the show notes or the description, fill out a very short form so we can do some research in advance of the call, and immediately you'll be taken to the calendar to book that 10-15 minute call to speak to my team to find out exactly what you need help with. Now, if you've already got your admin and you're a small team, the next phase of the journey, if you're an advisor, business owner with your PA, is to start thinking about the pods, that Alex and Kyle referenced. I talk about this in having a siloed brokerage. The world of mortgages, from regulated to unregulated, hugely different, hugely complex, takes hours to deal with. Then adding in protection with multiple different insurances and all the little bells and whistles that each insurer provides. Then you take into account someone's medical history and what they want from their new protection policy that they're going to take. The world is getting, or the industry is getting, more complex. You want to have a team of consultants, not a team of general practitioners. You want to have everybody as a professional in their position, and by having a siloed based business or a pod based business, as Carl and Alex talked about, will help you to increase the revenue. As a mortgage advisor, when you refer to a specific protection advisor, the protection advisor, that's their only thing they've got to make money from. They will increase the premium, they will maximize the conversion, and your client will get a better service and better advice. So more often than not, we break things down hugely. For example, new business advisor, PA, protection advisor, remortgage and product transfer advisor, because if you're the owner, you don't want to be doing remortgages and PTs because that's immediately lesser commission. You want to focus on maximizing the value of that commission as much as possible. Then you start to silo even further. You may, depending on the size of the firm that you want to build, you may want to have a regulated advisor and an unregulated advisor. You could have a will writer, a pension advisor. There's loads of different ways, but start thinking in silos. Everybody comes together to provide an all-in service to the client. And that way you're working on maximizing the value of every client rather than just trying to get more clients. It's all about building a business by working smarter, not just harder. What makes this entirely possible and fundamentally key is systems. Once you move into, from startup phase, which is phase number 1, you move into self-employed. At self-employed phase, which is number 2, I will do the deep dive on this in another episode. You have to have systems. You have to have a repeatable way of doing business. Every opportunity needs to go through the right stages, and every stage needs an automation to manage and nurture and deal with that customer relationship. This then ensures that the documents get reminded, reviews are asked for, no-shows get nurtured, post-offer, everything is taken care of. And that's why Active CRM, the one that we offer, that we have over currently 75 businesses, over 200 users using, is the perfect tool to work alongside the compliance tech that you need to deal with fact finds, client portals, ID checks, sourcing, suitability letters, demands and needs, all of that jazz. You want to have 2 systems. Equally, if you're currently with a network or you want to go directly authorized, you want all your data in something that you have 100% control over, that the network don't have any impact or influence on. Makes your business growth much, much better, including all the AI and everything else that comes with it. And I know what you may be thinking, even just in that first hire, or perhaps even your next hire, you think to yourself, I can't afford it. But then I speak to advisors who have got 4 or 5 protection cases currently sitting on their desk that they don't have the time to do. If each one of those was £100 worth of premium, which is easily the average of what my clients do, that's £2,000. If you've got 5 of them, that's 10 grand's worth of business. Out of that 10 grand, could you afford to pay 2 grand for a PA or your next advisor? Of course you could. It's about knowing your numbers and having a business plan in order to be able to achieve it. If you don't do this, then what you're going to find is you're going to hit capacity and your service is going to dip. Your quality is going to dip. Your number of reviews that you're going to get is going to dip, which will impact the number of referrals that you get. You have to get out of this scarcity mindset and this fear mindset and understand that by removing the £10 tasks, you can move into the £100 and £1,000 tasks. And as long as you're taking the mindset that your business will grow, your team will give you time to help evolve and improve the business. One of the simple hacks that you can do to help your training, which I know is a fear of having the time to do that, is as you're doing agreement in principles or as you're doing repetitive tasks, no matter what they are, if you want to delegate them, use Loom, Loom, screen record you doing the task, and it will highlight with a little yellow clicker. It will give you the transcription, which you can put into AI and create an SOP, a standard operating procedure, and it will enable you to remove the repetitive tasks and simplify your business growth. You will have this bank of how you want your business to interact and how you want your business to improve going forward. So hopefully this has given you some strategies and tactics that you can begin to think about. We help our clients to hire. It's an area in which I've absolutely nailed in and around my team. Obviously moving into a manager and put a leader requires a different mindset as well as a different skill set, because you want to get the best out of those people that come and join your team. Everybody needs to be on the same page, working towards that consistent vision, mission, and values that you have within the business. Everybody wants to know where we're going, what's happening, and what their role in that plan and strategy is. So I'd love to know in the comments or out on a social media channel around, where are you in business right now? Are you fearful of taking on your next employee? Do you need some support or guidance in relation to that? As Carl and Alex said, if you can afford 3 months of their salary, then it is an absolute no-brainer. I would actually urge you, if you're currently bottlenecked in your business, that if you could afford half of their salary, i.e. a £2,000 a month salary, yes, you've got NI and pension and stuff to go on top. Don't have pension in the first 6 months because they can opt out, or you don't have to opt them in. But let's say £2,000 a month. If you can afford £1,000 a month for 3 months, if you've got business that needs to be written, clients that haven't been sold protection, if you've got leads that need to be go back to, if you've got opportunity in your leaky bucket, you will easily be able to make up the other 50% and more to cover that salary and that cost. You need to get out of scarcity into abundance, because I have not met an advisor yet that has worked with me and brought in a PA and or an admin and regretted it. We've got clients who in the space of 12 months have taken on their first PA, brought on another trainee advisor, brought on a social media manager, all within the space of 12 months of working with us, because we switch the mindset and put in a strategy. And as you begin to delegate, you begin to grow. A simple thing I want you to do off the back of this episode is get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left-hand side, put £10. On the right-hand side, put £100. Or if you're a bigger business owner, put 3 columns. Have a £10 column, a £100 column, have a £1,000 column. I want you over the course of the next 1 to 2 weeks to start writing down everything that you are doing and putting it into one of those 3 categories. Is it £10? Is it £100? Or is it a £1,000 task? Is it £10 or is it a £100 task? And then once you've done that, start to think about, how can I get rid of these £10 tasks? Can I get someone part-time? Can I get somebody, my partner? Can I delegate some of these things out to a virtual PA? Can I afford to go and recruit somebody and pay their salary at 50% for the next 3 months? You do that, I promise you, you need to come and tell me that it's worked, because it will be a game changer for you getting to the next level to help you to grow with less stress. So let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this follow-up episode. I'll do a deep dive for you into the 4 key phases of building your business. It doesn't just apply to brokerages, it does apply to all businesses. And when you understand these, you can understand what you need to be focusing on at that point in time to remove the pain, to remove the challenges, and to get yourself to the next level. Peace out. See you next week.